Silence. Something so ordinary, and yet so strange. Try it. Just for a moment. Close your eyes and let everything go quiet. At first, you feel peace. But after a few seconds, something changes. Suddenly, you hear your own breath. Your heartbeat. Every swallow. And then, thoughts. Not the ones you want to hear. The other ones. The brain is afraid of silence. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's not used to emptiness. For millions of years, we lived surrounded by sound, wind, rain, fire, insects, people. In nature, silence meant only one thing: something is happening. Something is lurking. A predator. A storm. Danger. And so our brain learned to connect silence with threat. Not with peace, but with tension. Today, no predators are waiting in the dark. But the reflex remains. When the world goes silent, the brain becomes alert. It looks for what's happening. And when it finds nothing outside, it starts searching inside you. That's when a part of the brain turns on, the one scientists call the default mode network. It's the system that activates when you disconnect from the outside world. And that's when thoughts return. Memories, regrets, fears you've been hiding. Your brain shows them to you, not to hurt you, but to process them. But we've forgotten how to listen. Every noise, every sound has become our escape. Imagine standing in the quietest room on Earth. Orfield Labs, Minneapolis. No echo. No hum. Just emptiness. People who enter can last about 30 minutes on average. Some hear their heart beating, others hear the flow of blood, or even the sound of their own muscles. And then, panic. The brain begins to invent sounds, just so it's not alone. Because when noise disappears, the brain realizes there's nothing left except to listen to itself. Silence is like a mirror. It doesn't show the world. It shows you. And sometimes what you see isn't what you want to see. But that's where the truth hides. Not outside. Not in music. Not in noise. But in silence. In the modern world, we avoid silence. Music in the morning. Radio in the car. A show while cooking. A fan or TV while sleeping. Most people today never experience real silence, not even for 1 minute a day. And that's why the brain is tired. Because it never switches off. Never stops. Silence is like breathing for the mind. When you sleep, the body rests. In silence, the mind rests. Scientists at Duke University discovered that 2 hours of silence a day increase the creation of new neurons in the hippocampus, the part responsible for memory, learning, and regeneration. In silence, cortisol drops. Blood pressure lowers. The heartbeat slows. The brain cleans itself like a computer restarting after a long time. Some monks spend days, weeks, even months in total silence. And they say that after a while, silence stops being empty. It begins to have its own sound, the sound of presence. Brainwaves slow down. The alpha state appears, between wakefulness and dreaming. Between the outer world and inner peace. In silence, you don't get lost. In silence, you find yourself. But in nature, silence is never absolute. It's alive. The forest has its own silence, made of birds, wind, and distant rustles. It's a silence that breathes. Not dead, but balanced. This kind of silence heals. That's why after a walk in the woods you feel different. Not because it's completely silent, but because the noise finally stops screaming. Scientists found that after just 5 minutes of noise, it takes the brain up to 30 minutes to return to normal. But after 5 minutes of silence, it recovers faster. Silence is like stretching for the soul. It relaxes you, pulls you out of chaos, restores balance. Finding silence today isn't easy, but it's possible. Go farther from the city. Turn off the music. Put down your phone. Just be. When you do, at first, restlessness appears. The mind screams that you should be doing something. Then peace arrives. Not from outside, from within. Astronauts say that space holds the greatest silence a human can experience. And there, in that infinite emptiness, you realize silence isn't nothingness. It's presence, without borders, without noise. Just the awareness that you exist. Silence isn't an enemy. Silence is a teacher. It shows you what's unresolved inside you. Not to punish you, but to set you free. So next time you find yourself in silence, don't rush to cover it. Stay there for a moment. Don't run away. Let it show you who you are. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is space. A place where the world finally stops shouting, so you can finally hear what your inner voice has been trying to say. So, can you stay there for a moment?